All right, so this week, we're going into week 3, and I want to go over a new hashtag that I want you guys to use. I'm going to explain how the hashtag works this week, but what I want to cover really quick, first off, is a couple things to address, and then I'm going to get into a story. The first thing that I want to address is we've had a lot of people do really well, and we've had some people who it's still a learning process for, and you know what, that's okay. Okay? The cool thing is there's even been people who have followed my directions and our directions as a team exactly, and they haven't seen maybe the results that they thought they would. They're still going down, and ultimately now we can adjust your stuff. So the great thing about it is if you've stuck with it for a couple weeks now, it's really easy for your trainer to know exactly what to do to get that metabolism revved up, or your coach to get that metabolism revved up, all right? So just trust the process. Guys, I promise we would not have the results that we have if we had no idea what we're doing. Trust the process. You're going to hear it 100 million times, and the other thing you're always going to hear me say is stick to the list. So if it's not on the list, that's the first thing I'm always going to ask you as soon as you stall out. Are you eating strictly from the list? I don't care what other people post. I don't care what cool recipe you saw. If it's not on the list, that's the first question I'm going to ask you, because ultimately, I would prefer you always eat off the list. Now, if you want to make your own stuff, that's fine. That's on you. But understand that the list is best possible scenario. Okay? So I wanted to cover that. Now, you had a cheat meal. The big thing is if you had a cheat meal, get back on track. The issue that a lot of times you will have when you have a cheat meal is now that when you say no to things for so long, it's not a big deal. Then once you've tasted them again, now the temptation comes in, right? So this week, I want you to get right back on track. Do not turn a cheat meal into a cheat day, into a cheat weekend, into, oh crap, right? Don't do that. Please, I beg you, you've put in a great amount of time so far. You put in 2 full weeks. Now it's time to take it to the next level. Now it's time to really get results. Remember, you don't deserve a cheat meal. You deserve results. You deserve that jean size that you want. You deserve that scale number to be the scale number you want. You deserve that picture to look the way that it should. Okay? Teams should be sending out your before pictures this week. If you haven't already got them, we're going to get them to you this week because, again, we're going to see that 3-week progress. Again, fat loss. The number one indicator is pictures. So understand that it's only going to be 21 days. That's okay. You should still be able to sit down and compare them side by side and see a difference and see results. And that's what we want. Visibly see results. Now, on to the hashtag for the week before I get too long-winded. So, burn the boats, baby. Burn the boats this week. What does that mean? So I got to tell you a story. This is one of my favorite stories of all time. So you guys have all heard of the Vikings, I'm sure, when they came over, and they were the first people to discover America, right? Like before Columbus was here, the Vikings were here. Well, the cool thing about the Vikings is when they actually came down, they were warriors from the north, right? And they discovered this land, and they brought kind of an army into North America to explore and to set up a settlement. So here's what happened. So they got here, and they realized very, very quickly that they were not alone. The Native Americans had no idea what was going on, so they decided they were going to attack the Vikings. So the night before the attack, they could see the campfires of the Native Americans all out across behind their walls. They could see them, right? And there was hundreds and hundreds of fires. And they were like, there's so many. There's no way we can win this. And they started making excuse after excuse after excuse. So just as dawn hit, they looked at their commander and they said, well, what are we going to do? And he said, how are we going to do? We can't win this fight. There's too many of them. We're outnumbered. We don't have any food. We're surrounded. What are we going to do? We've got to leave. We've got to run. We've got to quit. And the commander looked at his army and he said, burn the boats. And everyone looked at him like, what do you mean? He goes, there's no excuse. We are either going to succeed because there is now no other option. If we burn those boats, we either succeed or we die. And the point of the story is I want you guys, when you find an excuse this week, when something bugs you, I want you to burn that boat. I want you to say, there is no way that this is going to beat me. There's no way that I'm going to use this as an escape back to the ocean, back to my homeland, and let these people tell me that I can't be here. Or let these results not come to me. The results that I deserve, the results that I'm working my ass off for, I deserve them. And every time you find an excuse and you beat that excuse, I want you to go ahead and check in, whether it be in the Facebook group or publicly, and use that hashtag, burn the boats, baby, and let us know what it is, because ultimately we're all going to face excuses. We're all going to face scenarios where we want to quit, where we want to get out, where we want to take the easy road, where we want to live to fight another day. But ultimately, if we tell ourselves, there is no tomorrow, there is no other way I'm going to do this but successfully, we will find a way to succeed. And you know what the coolest part of that story is? They turned around and they fought and they won. Why? Because they knew in their head this was the only option. Success was the only option. Either we're going to succeed or that's it. We're done. And ultimately, that's how I want you to approach this. You can succeed. There is nothing that can stop you except it's in here. Right? As soon as you say, I'm burning that boat. Oh, you're really busy this week with work? Cool. Burn that boat. Oh, your kids have an unexpected sickness? Cool. Burn that boat. You can still plan your meals. You can still be successful. You can still hit your macros. You can still take a half hour 3 times a week to get better. And I'm going to challenge you this week to make this the best week of your 12-week challenge so far. Every single day, every single meal, don't find a way out. Burn the boat, baby. Let's go get them.